How is Christ's resurrection like the first fruits? Imagine waking up to a promise of more to come. That's what the idea of first fruits is all about. It's a way of showing that what's first is just the start of something much bigger. When we look at Jesus rising from the dead, it's like that first piece of a larger picture. In the Old Testament, people celebrated the Feast of First Fruits by offering the first sheaf of their harvest to God. This act was a sign that the rest of the harvest was on its way. It was a way of trusting that God would bring the full harvest at the right time. Jesus' resurrection happens right after the Passover week, on the day called the first day of the week. This timing lines up perfectly with the Feast of First Fruits. It's no coincidence. Paul even calls Jesus the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep, meaning that Jesus is the first to rise in a new kind of body. His resurrection is the first step in a future where everyone who believes in him will also be raised from the dead. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant the seed, you expect a plant to grow. Jesus' resurrection is like that seed. It's the first sign that new life is possible after death. It's a promise that the full harvest of resurrection will happen for all believers. The first fruits were dedicated to God, showing that the entire harvest belongs to him. Jesus' resurrection also belongs to God's plan of redemption. It's a sign that God is in control and that his plan for new life is moving forward. The connection between the Old Testament feast and Jesus' resurrection helps us see how God's promises are fulfilled. It's like a bridge from the past to the present, showing that Jesus, rising from the dead, is the beginning of a new chapter. Paul uses the image of a harvest to explain this. Jesus is the first fruit and the rest of the harvest. Believers who will be raised are coming soon. Knowing this gives us hope. It reminds us that death is not the end. Instead, it's a transition to eternal life. When we understand that Jesus is the first fruits, we can trust that our future resurrection is secure. It's a promise rooted in history and fulfilled in Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. So, just as the first sheaf in the harvest points to the full crop, Jesus' resurrection points to a future where everyone who believes in him will share in that new life. It's a beautiful picture of hope and assurance that God's plan for us is moving toward a glorious fulfillment.